Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Brando and Sasha. Um, the interesting part about the actress that plays Sasha, that was playing Sasha today, is that she is her actual sister. Don't know exactly why she wasn't on the show today, or why she won't be on the show for a little bit. But I mean, I gotta sit there and say, if they had to get anybody to replace her, I'm cool with having her sister there. And Sasha does seem like one of those characters that's like that can kind of be played by almost anyone. So I'm cool with it. Anyway, Brando tracks her down. Sasha's on a call and she's talking about how she's not going to be launching her IP or whatever because Maxie's gone, and until she gets found, they're just going to kind of just, keep quiet or whatever for a little bit about, going public. And Brando gets there. And I'm going to be honest, watching their scenes today, they just I mean, I know everyone is like kind of side characters to some extent, or like they're their own characters, but I feel like these characters are literally side characters. Um, we haven't really seen much of them at all. Um, and in today's episode, all Brandon really did was talk about how he wanted to talk about his feelings, and she keeps avoiding him, and I just look at this whole thing, and I'm like, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't want to sit there and sound like an insensitive dick, but I'm like, why are you putting all that on her? Like, there are therapists there that he can sit there and see. There are support groups that are there, with people that are going through the same thing that he's going through. It's like, why is he putting that all on Sasha? I understand that he feels that they have a connection because you know he feels like she's the only person that's really known what he's going through since she kind of shared that experience with him. But I'm like, you can talk to other people that's going through similar experiences. Everyone grieves in their own way, their own manner. And, for Sasha, it's work. And instead of you sitting there saying, well, I want to sit to talk about my feelings with you, why don't you respect her feelings and let her process the way that she's going, the way that she's going about it, the way that she's going about it. Instead of you know that she doesn't want to sit there and really talk about it and bring that up and just painful memories and stuff like that. So it's like, why are you doing that to try to make yourself feel better? I don't understand that. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like it was kind of selfish to be, to be real. But Sasha was like, she'll make more time to talk to Brando. Um, how he's dealing with stuff. And I don't know. I kind of was just like, bro, I still did not. I still wasn't okay with that. I get it. He wants to talk to her, but let her deal with stuff in her own manner. More or less, that was pretty much them. Like I said, they really feel like side characters. So Drew and Sam are sitting there looking for clues, seeing if there's anything that the police missed on trying to find Maxie, and they run into Victor. Victor walks up, and Victor, starts to slowly take out the card. Meanwhile, you got Austin and you got Obrick that they're listening in. I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple of times that Obrick kind of like annoyed me. She was like, "You're responsible. You gotta sit down," because Austin was like, "I don't feel like doing this all day." Like it's tedious and it's like I don't really care about his morning routine and stuff like that. But she was all like, "Oh, you got to do it for penance because you're the person that's responsible," and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm so over it. I'm so over everyone blaming Austin for you know Victor finding out or Peter finding out. Like I don't care. Like I'm over it. And every time Olbrick or somebody else wants to blame Austin for that, I just roll my eyes and I just kind of fast forward through it because I can't sit there and listen to that. Anyway, like I said, Victor takes out the card and he's all like, "You're activated." Now, Drew just kind of sits there and looks at him like, Sam is kind of worried, like, what are you doing? But Drew's like, yo, that's not gonna work. I'm pretty sure there's more to it than just flashing a card and saying that I'm activated. Um, but he tells, Sam to go somewhere else or whatever. And then he starts joking him up a little bit. And while he's doing that, in the process, he um, accidentally, like the bug that's on Victor drops on the ground. And, eventually he steps on it or whatever. So they can't listen in anymore. And then, Drew gives, what's it, this, like, what the hell is his name? Drew, says some threats or whatever, and he walks away. And, Victor, I'm not gonna lie. It looked like his manhood was kind of pride. It looked like his manhood was kind of wounded there. You see him like kind of fixing up his jacket or whatever. Like, bro, it happened. We all saw it. This guy is way bigger than you. Just let it go. Um, Now he does talk to, I guess, one of his henchmen, and comes to find out that he really wants the secrets that's in Drew's in his head. Has something to do tying back to either the Cassidines or him or some sort of information that he needs. So this is why he wants to sit there and activate Drew to try to get those secrets out. So at least now we know. Because I was kind of wondering, like, what do you plan on doing? But now we know. I mean, we don't know exactly what secrets it is, but we know it's secrets inside of his head. Finn and Anna talk for a little bit, and Anna talks about how lonely she feels. And first of all, it's like, you got a guy that's been pining for your attention since jump, but you're talking about how you feel lonely and you miss the good old days. When you used to come home and you see, Finn and Violet just kind of hanging out, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, am I actually supposed to feel bad for you? I mean, you lied to Finn. You kind of endangered his daughter by being around a psychopath. So it's like, do you want a tissue or something? What do you want? And again, on top of that, there's a guy who is literally interested in Anna. Now she was sitting there talking about, oh well, I get to be a better spy because I don't have any attachments, this, that, and the third, and I can bring Peter down. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That's a nice excuse that you're using for him, but we all don't buy it. So now he does. Now she does get a call from some woman because Maxie is in the car with Peter, and she's like, I got to sit and use the restroom. And when she gets in there, she, writes something on the mirror as far as Anna's number and her name. And then the next woman that goes in there, reads it and calls Anna, gives her the location, or, like in Switzerland. So Anna goes in the room with Felicia and Mac. They were sitting there talking about how, it was painful to let Bailey or Luis go, be back with Brooklyn, but it's the only people that they know, blah, 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 blah. And I get it to some extent. It was kind of painful, but I don't know. I have to tell you the truth. And in some sense, I'm just kind of waiting for this whole thing to be over so we can kind of move on to the next chapter. Um, but Anna does sit there and tell, Felicia and Mac that, we have a location of where Maxie is. And, Drew agrees to go, and Felicia wants to go, but, Anna's like, you're going to be a liability. I'm going to be sitting there focused on protecting you, and not really sitting there trying to, hunt down Peter. So she decides not to go. And, when Drew and Anna leaves, Anna's like, are we going to be good? Like, because you could be a liability also. I'm sitting there thinking, so let me get this straight, Anna. The guy who can be mind controlled by Peter, you think it's a good idea to take him with you. You do realize that you are handing Peter a weapon, a 6 foot something pound, a 6 foot X amount of pound weapon. And of course, Drew's like, I'm gonna tell you what I told Jason. If it comes down to it, kill me. Take me out. And Anna's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, like with no hesitation. And we all know that she's gonna hesitate. My whole question is, she does sit there and say, we can pick up Dante, but I was like, why don't you just pick up Dante and maybe Chase? Like, Dante and Chase, have Brooklyn stay at the Quartermains or whatever. Like, I don't understand why you would sit there and get the one guy who could be mind. This is where we get into, once again, I always sit there and say this plot versus logic and common sense. And it's right there, right there. That whole scene where Drew's like, yeah, I'll go. And and I can't even just put this on Anna. I know that Drew wants to sit there and try to help, but I'm like, you want to go to try to get the guy, you want to go and try to find Maxie and encounter the guy who can literally mind control you? That's really a smart idea. I thought you want to spend time with Scout and, getting to know your daughter and stuff like that and just living your life since you got it back. And yet, this seems like a good idea. Okay, sure. Now, later on in the episode, Laura sees Austin Ulbrich talking, and she walks over, and Ulbrich's like, listen, we can use her. We can use her on our plan. And they start talking about Victor and everything like that, and what he may actually want. Um, like, what is he there for? What he may actually want. So it seems like they may sit there and team up, which would be a great idea. I just wish they would stop blaming Austin for something that he didn't actually do, but whatever. And I get the train of thought behind it, but at the end of the day, Peter's a psychopath. So you're not going to sit there and blame him because Brooklyn was a POS of a character for quite a while, and you want to get back at that said POS of a character. We ain't doing that. Now, also towards the end, Liz gets a letter, and she opens it up, and I can't exactly remember what it was, but it did say B, and she realized it was from Betsy, Franco's adopted mother. Now, when hmm, when he shows when she shows Finn, she's like, yeah, this is from Franco, whatever. I'm sitting there thinking, this may be the person that set the fire and is giving her like the ring or whatever at work. But I'm gonna be honest, that is a little kind of like OD that she would literally bring the wedding ring from her house to her job. And that's all sorts of creepy. The fact that she snuck in to her house while her kids was there. I mean, it would make sense, but still. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that's about it. This was an okay episode. I could have really did without the Sasha and Brando stuff. Don't get me wrong. When the whole Liam stuff happened, that was a great storyline. They've had some great storylines sometimes when they know how to use them properly. When they had the whole Cyrus thing going on, that was great. But now it's like what are we doing? Like I just felt like they were just so side characters and just so unnecessary. Hopefully they'll put them in something else that's great. Because to be honest, their faces are on, the intro. And I'm like, all right, we got these characters there. Let's find a way to use them properly. They also got Sean's face in there too, and still don't know what the hell they're gonna do with that character. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for watching yesterday. Oh, I hate putting out my reviews So late. Yeah, I just hate it. But I had a day yesterday, and like I said, it was on the news as far as the building that burnt down next to mine. Um, so that was fun. But I want to thank everyone for watching anyway, and I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.